A very good evening to you, our viewers. It's Olympic special here. My name is Shegun Odwayo, and I have with me Olani Apampa, who will be analyzing the Nigerian game against the Brazilians. The Super Falcons played against the female Brazilian team. We lost 1-0, unfortunately, but it wasn't a bad performance. Olani, good afternoon. Sorry, good evening. I guess the defeat is still affecting me psychologically. It wasn't a bad game entirely. No Asisa Toshuala. But Deborah Abiodun was one of the brights of the game. Chiamaka Nadozie, ever solid, ever strong. Up front, we didn't really have an attacking attacker. We didn't really have a 9. I guess if we had gotten a proper 9, perhaps the game could have ended in a draw because of the opportunities we got at the very beginning. Rasheedat Ajibade, captain. Just very quickly, in 2-3 minutes, how did you see that game?
Well, I mean, it was a pretty drab game for the Falcons. If you want to consider where we are coming from. After a very good World Cup performance, we thought we could step things up at the Olympics. We started the game pretty fine. The first 15 minutes were quite good. Had some couple of chances that we could have converted. The Brazilian goalkeeper had a point-blank save.
That was brilliant.
I mean, quite brilliant. The reason why the Brazilians won eventually. But as the game wore on, it became very evident that we couldn't just create spaces for ourselves. We couldn't, muster, passes together. And not that the Brazilians were spectacular tonight, but we just didn't bring our A game on, and it really left us in a very tighter position. Yes, of course, maybe it was a narrow defeat, but when you look at it critically well, it was a game that was begging for us to be won.
I think I agree with you because in the first 15 minutes were brilliant. 2 opportunities. Rasheedat Ajibade at the right flank went past our marker, brought the ball in. Unfortunately, this number 17 lady, what's her name again? This new lady in the Super Falcons wasn't clinical. Uchebe. Then the ball fell into the feet of Uchebe. Brilliant shot. The goalkeeper, Lorena, pushed it out of play. But we had the goal there just in front of us. We were supposed to have supper. Unfortunately, we took our meal and we threw it to the dogs. And then we just never got those type of chances again. Unfortunately, Brazil is one of the, looking at the teams in that group, looking at that performance, you say that was a game that we could have gotten something from. Of course. And stolen a point at worst.
I mean, the Brazilians were there for us to be taken. I mean, they are quite departure from the Brazilians of old. Of course, they had Mata, who is obviously the oldest player in the competition. But if you want to consider the manner in which they play, I don't think that's their best game that we've seen them in a quite while. But the problem for us was that the Super Falcons, just didn't come to the party. Apart from the early chances that we had, we didn't do too much. Yes, around the world drum, made some changes late on, but that didn't really make so much effect. And I mean, I'm sure there are question marks about his substitution decision, because I believe that maybe earlier in the game he could have injected some live into...
Talking about injecting live, who do you think should have come on? Looking at substitutions, Unumonu came on, Kanu came on as well. She wasn't brilliant, if you ask me, but the best performance of the substitute was probably Nicole Payne, who was brilliant at that right flank, injecting energy into the attack. Her throw-ins were fantastic. She was trying to burst onto the scene up front. Eventually, but talking about energy, what energy did you think was on the bench that didn't come on?
You believe that probably if Nicole had come in earlier, and Alozie had made her switch back to the left back, probably we could have, found a way to power pressure on the Brazilians. But when Nicole came in, it was little too late for us, and we just had to, make do with the scrambles that happened afterwards. But it's just unfortunate that in the first game of the tournament, you expect us at least, if not we are not going to win, at least get a draw, because we find ourselves in a very difficult group that's got the world champions, Spain, and of course one of the big teams in the tournament, former champions of the world, Japan. And of course the Brazilians,
Brazil.
the antecedents is well known. So we are, of course, we are the underdogs in the team. We are the odds one out in the group. So I mean, looking at it well, we thought that okay, probably we could have picked out something in this that would spur us into the next game and maybe leverage on that and get something out of it. But I mean, all hopes are still not lost. It's just the first game of the tournament. Who says we can't surprise the world champions? I mean, we did that at the World Cup against the Australians, so probably we can also do that in our subsequent games in the group.
Very quickly now, Ihezuo was our starting 9.
Yeah.
I think that was our weakest link on the team in that team. The goalkeeping segment, we all know Chiamaka Nnadozie. She needs no explanation. At the back, Tosi Demain and Ohale, brilliant. Left back, right back, I beg your pardon.
Alozie.
Michelle Alozie. Yeah. She wasn't 100% fantastic, but I think she gave us 70. She was constant. She was, what she didn't have was pace, and she was beaten a couple of times. But anytime she comes back, she gets her fitting, and then she's somewhere there. Left back, same can be said for OKK, who was brilliant at the back. In the middle of the park, Christy, Uchebe, brilliant. Yeah. We all know how great she can be. We saw her at the World Cup. Deborah Abiodun, Kante, always standing firm. Tony Payne, with the passes, she doesn't have the pace. Up front, that was where catastrophe struck. How can we correct this going forward?
I think in the next game, the coach must decide how we can, get an alternative if we are being pressed. I mean, we saw that several times in this game. The Brazilians knew that, okay, attackers were in that tour, and we didn't have a ball-winning striker that could hold up a play and, of course, free up our wingers. So what they did was to press our defenders and ensure that the goalkeeper go long. So once that happens, there's always a turnover. So I expect that in subsequent games, around the wardrobe should find a way to do that. And the only option is, of course, to go vertical. If you are not getting all of the spaces narrowly, then you have to open up the field and, of course, go vertical. Fortunately for us, we do have the pacey wingers. And I mean, if you want to judge by the first game that we've seen of Tony Payne, of course, that she's got the creativity, but we didn't see that against the Brazilians. Maybe, of course, she will come to the party in subsequent games. But I mean, in all, yes, it wasn't a total disaster in terms of the performance, but I felt that we could have done more and we could have gotten something out of this game because the Brazilians were there for the taking. But one area that I would love Randy Wardrum to really correct is making his decisions very early. If you are going to substitute, make those substitutions very early. Don't leave it till the later time of the game, because at that point, I mean, all you get are scrambles, and that's what we saw against the Brazilians today.
What happened to Aissatou Oshoala? I thought not starting the game was a strategy. I thought 45 minutes after into the game, she was going to come on. She didn't come on. Ihezuo was brought off. I was looking out for who was trying to come on. There was no Aissatou Oshoala. 60 minutes, no Aissatou Oshoala. Okay, probably last 20 minutes. 70 minutes, no Aissatou Oshoala. Probably last 10 minutes for injection. Nothing at all. She was on the bench. She wasn't even looking like she was trying to come on because she wasn't jogging. She was just there. Is she injured again? Is it the World Cup strategy? What's going on? Is it the second game she wants to come on?
Well, I mean, Wardrum has got an explanation to make because we saw him in training before the game. I saw her in training, I beg your pardon. And there were no news about whether she was injured or not. So it came as a surprise that first she was even left out of the starting lineup and she didn't even feature for the entirety of the game. So, of course, there will be an explanation to that. Probably she picked up an injury before at the start of the game, maybe during warm-up. We don't know. But you felt that if she had been brought on or she was available for this game, maybe she could have, brought something out of nothing. I mean, we know the kind of talent that she has whenever she's coming to the party. But we are just a game shy out of 3. Subsequent games, if the injury or whatever happens to her is not something too delicate, I'm sure she will get a time.
All right, now, do you see us making it out of this group? We know we can still make it. Best loser position is opportunity is still there for us.
True.
I was thinking we could get a point, so that with a point, we won't be sitting at the foot of the group. Thinking, okay, let's not lose more than 2 goals. 1 goal to nil, because Japan lost 2-1 to Spain, a Bonmati-inspired Spain. Somehow all my prayers couldn't come true, but at least we didn't lose beyond a goal to nil. Do you think there's a rescue point for us out of this group into the next round?
Of course, we have to win our next game if you want to have any chance of, or any hopes of making it out of the group. Anything short of a victory might spell doom for us, because we know that we've got our destiny in our hands, and we just have to take it at this very point in time. Like I mentioned earlier on, we are the odds one out. We are the underdog in that group. But of course, if you want to, judge by how well we performed at the last World Cup, we didn't start, quite well at the World Cup as well. I remember we drew our first game against Canada, and in subsequent games we came to the party, won against Australia. Probably can conjure that type of magic against Spain and Japan. But the only way we can make it out of the group is to win our next game and probably get a draw in the next fixture if puts come to shove.
All right, our next game is going to be on Sunday, on the 28th, and we're going to be playing against Spain. And then our last game is going to be against Japan on the 31st. Now we are playing Spain, the most dreaded team in this group. Those Spanish ladies are out of this world. Now the question is, can we have anything beyond Spain?
Well, it's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. I saw the Spaniards against the Japanese, sleek as
they
ever.
considered first.
They considered first, but you know what they can do. The core of that team that won the World Cup is still there.
Yeah.
Parallelu is there. Alexia Putellas is there. Ona Batil is still there. Aitana Bonmati is, of course, the best player
in the world at the moment.
Presently,
yeah.
We are going to suffer. That is very, very sure.
Badly.
We are going to suffer, but how well we are going to keep it very tight will determine how far we will go in that fixture. I'm not looking beyond us winning. I mean, if we could beat Australia, that was the host country,
of course,
the co-host at the last World Cup, in front of a vociferous home fans, we could do that against the Spaniards, but we just have to up the ante. We can't play as badly as we did tonight,
second half,
and expect that we go over the Spaniards. Like I mentioned, we have to win. We can't afford to lose, but it's going to be very tough for us.
Quick question: you are coach while the Royal Drum. What exactly are you going to change on Sunday?
Yes, first we should maintain the back line that finished the game today. Okay. I mean, get Nicole to play from the right. Should start from of course, start from the right. Then of course, Alozie would operate from the left. Then keep the core of the main, and of course Ohale. In the middle of the pack, the hardworking Abiodun would of course start. Yeah, Ochebe, we didn't see too much of today.
We saw that shot.
Yeah, fantastic shot, but I expected more. I didn't get more of Tony Payne as well, but those three would feature. But up front, if Oshoala is not injured, I expect Oshoala to start. I mean, it's our most critical game.
Look at Mata at 41, still playing football.
What that fantastic pass that led to the goal.
90 minutes.
Ageless, if you want to say. We need all our experienced players against the Spaniards. And Oshoala, of course, knows most of these Spaniards. He's played with Aitana Bonmati at Barcelona. He's played with Alexia Putellas. So he can get one or two informations about them. So that's the only change that will make up front. Then from the wing, we'll get. Are
you talking about Kanu? Do you want Kanu to
start?
Yeah,
Uchenna Kanu will start, and of course, the captain Asad Ajibade would operate from the right.
All right, unfortunately, you're not coach of the World Drum, around the World Drum, but we don't hope for something. Going into this tournament, I wasn't too hopeful Honestly speaking, I thought, let's avoid the bashing against Brazil. But the first 15-20 minutes exposed the Brazilians.
Gave us hopes.
And from the looks of their manager, you could see the guy was under so much pressure up until the end. In fact, the winning coach had more pressure than Randy Waldrum, who was on the bench. The guy was tactically checking something and doing something up until the very end. And then I think it was you who said, Spain has gotten 3 points already. They won 3 points as well. Well, we are hoping for something good on Sunday. Really, we don't have our guys playing in the male fixtures of the Olympics football tournament. But hey, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we couldn't get anything out of it. We go again on Sunday, and hopefully this time we get something out of that game. We can beat the Spaniards.
We can. They are beatable. Not that they are invincible, but the technicality is there, and they've got the core that won the World Cup for them. So they are operating at an high pedestal. So, but we can't beat them out. We can't beat them.
All right. At least the Japanese scored first today before they came back. Got a goal via Bonmati, and then Bonmati again creating the assist before they could get all 3 points. So it was a little difficult for the Spaniards. I think the Super Falcons can make life difficult for them as well. Perhaps get something out of it, because if we finish third, there's a very big opportunity for us, because 3 teams are definitely going to be positioned for best loser. Portugal 2016, remember what happened? The best losing team just made their way up onto the final, and then they defeated France. And who says we can't even go on to top the group? Oh, if that is too much of a tax, who says we can't finish second and make it through? This is the first time in 20 years that the Super Falcons are going to be playing at the Olympics, and it's time for them to really show that they have something that they can prove to the world. It's time for them to show their mettle, and we hope that the big girls in the team can truly come to the party. Very big thank you to you, Onali, your papa, for being a part of this. Hopefully we'll be here again on Sunday, hopefully, to give you updates going on in the world of sports at the Olympics Paris 2024. It is. On behalf of the entire production team and Olani Apampa here with me, it's Michelle Godwin saying have yourselves a fantastic day, stay out of trouble. God bless you.